Episode 33, man. I'm like extremely excited to even be able to press that record button. I know some people can't. We got something extremely cool and something extremely deep to talk about at the same time. You're paying to cross a state line. When you get a car, you have to pay insurance. Then you have to pay for gas. And you continuously have to keep paying for every single thing. Now you have to pay for damages to the car. It's like you're paying to park. That's just 5 things when it comes to one item in your life, one necessity that you need in this life. We're paying to pay. Talk with Dev, episode 33, man. The love is deeply appreciated. Whether you click for 10 seconds or stay the entire video, let us know how y'all feel about the subject, because I know this ruffles everyone's feathers in this life. Me and bro was chopping it up every single time before we start recording about these type of subjects, and we bringing it to y'all. Who we got here, bro? My co-host.
Your boy Yahoo, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Welcome back to another episode, man. Like you said, we're paying to pay, basically paying to live, you know what I'm saying? A life that's already given to us for free. Like, I be thinking about that too. Like, straight out the womb, I heard you're a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you're born. But it's like you can't collect your tax money and stuff until you retire after you're 60 and something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. And then after that, the money's cut down all the way to like thousands. Where happened to all that money? You know what I'm saying? Where all that money go? Like through your whole lifetime, I promise you probably never touched any of that money. You know what I mean? You're paying to live a life that's free. And it makes no sense. Like you said, we have to pay for tolls just to go to another state. Like I never thought about that, paying for tolls to go over a bridge to another state, another county. Like that's dumb.
What are we doing?
Like I never thought about that. That was smart you brought that up. I ain't gonna lie. I never thought about that. Like stuff like that. And then like you said, it's so much payment that requires you to do when you have a car. Like paying for gas, that's dumb. Like gas, bro, that pisses me off. I made so much money, bro, and then next you know, gas. I gotta pay gas. Damn, I gotta pay bills. Damn, like it's just like, you know, your happiness gets taken away because you have to give up something, and then the other people that are collecting the money are just like, oh, yep, give it to me, give it to me. Like,
give me, bro.
Give me money. You know what I mean? Like it's stupid, bro. They're sitting back getting our money, and we have to keep paying it. Like it's kind of funny to think about because like we can talk about this all day. But then other niggas will see us and be like, man, them niggas just chatting. They crazy. Like, but really think about it, bro. Like, we're paying for no reason. Like, what if everybody said, I'm going to stop paying today?
What's going to happen?
What's going to like, you know what I mean? What's going to happen?
We're not talking about and gang is not talking about a select few people. We're talking about every single person.
Yeah.
What is going to happen? Not to cut you off, gang, but bro, it's to the point where you're paying to get paid. A fraction out of your check that you worked for, that you whether it's your career or just a little side job, whatever it may be, unless you're just getting paid straight cash for doing a little bit of construction work or whatever. If you have a federal job or whatever it may be, they take a cut out of your check and it goes to them.
Mm-hmm.
We're all working so hard to get towards something, you know, in this life. It started with money. So that's what we need. We were born into, you need this and you need that to pay for this and pay for that. So it's like, all right, I guess we got to go get that. Whoever system it is, if y'all want to get into that, we can get into that. But the people who's running it, they're not in a rush to go get the money because everything is fractioned out of our money and goes to them. It is insane. I don't know if I mentioned this too, but you're paying to park as well. What's the point? Why do I have to pay to leave the car right here? Please tell me. We're closing on that 5-minute mark, episode 33. I feel like this is a relatable topic, and I say that every video, but I really feel like this is something that'll click with people. And if it doesn't click with you, you may have no inner monologue, and you might not be real. We're closing in on that 5-minute mark. I deeply appreciate you. Me and my dog, Eliyahu, we go 20 minutes max if you get lucky. We may go a little longer, a little shorter than that. I don't truly know. Please let us know how you feel about this topic. It's extremely weird. Now, you don't pay to park everywhere you go, but damn near you go to the beach, you go to a city, you go here, you're paying to park. And if not, you're going to end up having to pay because you're going to get a ticket. And I get plenty of parking tickets, and I still haven't paid them. What's going to happen? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten plenty of parking tickets this summer. I'm not paying them.
you got parking tickets?
So then it goes to, okay, we're paying to get educated. Besides, if you're going to a public high school, if you go to a private high school, some of those tuitions are as much as college tuition. It's all just stacked on top of each other. Expenses. Me and bro be saying this on our own separate videos and on here as well. We're paying for things that grow out of the...
Man, if y'all go tap in, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? And bro, right here, putting it where. Come on, bro. Come on, though. Come on, bro. Come on, though. Come on. Tap in. What is y'all doing?
No one paid for the ground. Nobody paid for the sun. Nobody paid for what? Why are we paying for those things? And it's a question that you really need to sit down and ask yourself. And maybe if we all change our thought process, and me and bro, like I said, we was chopping up before we clicked record. We want to go live soon, but all in due time. And we do want to get in-person episodes going because me and bro, we from the same area. We grew up together, went to school together, and all that. But bro moved, but it's just like we still finding our way to make content together. You feel what I'm talking about? So we're gonna get them in-person joints eventually. At some point, y'all gonna see this joint level up even more. But we always chop these things up like, yo, things are growing out the ground. We paying for them. He grows things at his family, grows things at their house. I grow things at my house. And it should just be continued to grow from there. Obviously it's a process. If you just start growing seeds, obviously you're still gonna have to pay for things. It's just like, damn though. Will it ever stop? Because I ain't gonna lie. It's like everybody not even focused on what people. Sometimes people don't even want to hear what people talking about. They gotta make money. It's just money. No, I need money for that. It's just like, damn, that's really what makes the world go around. It's like, damn.
I wanted to bring this up real quick.
Let's get it.
You know what I'm saying? Episode 33. The number 33 has a lot of meanings to it.
Power.
You know what I mean? But you believe in angel numbers and stuff like that? You know what I mean? How they be like, oh, certain numbers mean certain things, and every time you see it repetitively and all that.
I look at it. I definitely look into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel a certain way about it, but go ahead.
Yeah, but number 33, what it really means is a sign of encouragement and divine guidance. You know what I'm saying? Particularly related to creativity, self-expression, or spiritual growth. You know what I mean? And I really think about that right now, how we're expressing our emotions towards this topic and how we feel about it. And basically we want change towards it, you know what I mean? And encouraging people to wake up and realize. And that's really what we've been doing on this channel and our own separate channels, you know what I mean? And it's crazy to think about how so far, you know what I mean, you've been doing it for over a year now. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for, making content for a couple years now, but the specific content like this,
you're
less than a year or a year or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because we already inspired so many people, you know what I mean? And to really think about 10 years from now, how many more people we're going to inspire, you know what I mean? And it's crazy to think about too, how we find a group of people to be around that think like us and, have the same mindset as us. It's amazing to think about. But you just said, talking about, you know what I mean, paying for stuff is so dumb. I be thinking about it sometimes, bro. I'm just like, why are we paying to live? You know what I mean? And I bring it up all the time, you know what I mean, to people, and they just look at me like I'm crazy or they don't realize. And then I look at people in the world that work 9 to 5s, not knocking a 9 to 5, but you really want to work a 9 to 5 minimum wage, underpaid job your whole life and then retire and then still have pennies left over. And on top of that, you're not ever going to be happy, you know what I mean? And that's why at a young age, we're really trying to push this out and wake other people up in our generation to not want to live like that, you know what I mean? Because obviously the older generation, they see that as, oh, that's just how life is. No, that's not how life's supposed to
shouldn't be that way, though.
You know what I mean? It's just, people don't use their own common sense and their own thoughts. They just try to go with the flow and live free, how they say, the American dream. The American dream really is a scam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is no true American dream or lifestyle to live to be happy.
Right.
Unless you growing your own stuff and, doing things for yourself and really working on yourself and your family and everything, then you'll be happy. But if not, you trying to live this 9 to 5 life your whole life and then going out on the weekends to party and go to clubs and do different things like that, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be satisfied.
Real life. Shout out to that whole message you just gave us. That's a whole bunch of gems. Shout out to you and Visa Awaken, because earlier in the group chat, you guys were talking about how older generations, how you just mentioned older generations, they adopted other people's thoughts. These aren't even their thoughts. So obviously we're trying to change how people think, people who look like us and whoever else wants to tap into what we're saying. It may stick with you. But anyways, we're not trying to adopt anyone's knowledge. We may look and not believe we know more than you. But when you think for yourself, you start to, it's just an open mind. And you start to realize, well, you become more consciously aware. And that's all we're saying. It's like, damn, you really shouldn't be living this way. We really shouldn't be living this way. Damn, we 10 minutes in already. Life Unfiltered. Let us know how you're feeling about the topic. We always say we don't believe to know any more than you. Life Unfiltered, episode 33, man. Come on, me and bro, we bringing that energy. We talking real life stuff. It's like, why are we paying for things that grow at the ground? Why are we paying to maneuver? Only species on planet Earth. Stop growling, man. Damn, bro. Yo, bro. Can
Come
y'all
on,
answer? Yo,
yo, why
yo.
he growling?
I mentioned earlier talking about inner monologue. That wasn't a joke, and it might have made you laugh, but it wasn't a joke. When I'm talking about you have no inner monologue, if you don't really question these things, eventually, like, all right, maybe you're 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, just focus on school, sports, but at some point it's going to have to snap into you. If you're 30, 40 and still haven't felt this way, I get it. You had to pay bills and you have to, provide for your family. You feel like there isn't much you can do. I mentioned bro's gardening at his house, plenty of fruits and everything like that. It starts there. You start building things up on your own. You realize, hold on, even this, like look at farmers. They may not make world change, but they change plenty of things for their families. But the thing is, look, it still comes down to profit. It's like the farmers growing all their crops, doing their thing. They got a whole bunch of supply, but then it's like, hold on, it's still for profit. That dollar runs up. Oh, bro, I gotta pause this. Question for my dog Eliyahu. So when it comes to moving forward, because I ain't gonna lie, this is actually, when they talk about, 2020, the what happened in 2020, COVID, you know what I'm talking about? That's an epidemic or whatever, but I feel like this is actually a bigger epidemic that people let fly by over the top of their head, is paying for things that grow out of the ground.
Yeah.
Constantly keeping us at a lower state, with the financial gain, because whoever's running the system has us in a chokehold. So, people in your inner circle, because I feel like when we speak on these things, a million people can see it and they'll still just brush it off. So people for your inner circle, or people that you truly care about, or that you want to, reach out to first, what do you feel like is a good thing or a good way to start? I kind of feel like we kind of mentioned a few things, but what do you feel like?
What I would do is, like you said, growing stuff and everything. I would show them like my garden, stuff
Facts.
like that, like simple stuff first, like that, showing like the progress and stuff that I have going through that and everything. And then if they still don't get it, talking to them and everything, I would say just time, even though time's an illusion, I would say with time they'll probably understand and wake up, because people are waking up every single day.
Every day.
I have some people in my circle who I don't really send stuff to all the time, because they'll just like try to combat it with nonsense that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's the same people who will ask you questions and everything, and they'll still try to combat your answers with their questions that don't make sense. So like,
wow.
Honestly, like people, I would have showed them my garden, try to talk to them and show them different things that's going on. You know what I mean? Either they understand it or they don't. I'm not really stressing it if you don't really understand it, but that's up to you if you really want to understand or not. And if you don't understand it, or if you don't, it don't make sense to you, why don't you do the research and stuff yourself then, and try to figure out what the truth really is, instead of sitting back and having me send you information. That's just how I feel. But
that's a good take, Brody.
My question for go ahead.
Let me know.
My question for you is, what do you feel like is the biggest scam right now when it comes to like everything that's going on in life that we pay for or that we have to do? Like, what's the biggest scam right now?
Damn, I ain't gonna lie. That's like bro just asked that, and it's like, it seems like a simple question, but then when you think about everything, like I'll probably answer this question and then forget about something else. But honestly, I just think I touch on this, you touch on this, a few people in our community touch on this. So when it comes to Vise and other people, we already know, bro. The food and the pharmaceutical medicine and I'm whispering because I don't want them to hear me. Like, you feel what I'm talking about? Yeah. The pharmaceutical is just like, listen, these medicines and these pills are actually coming from nature, first off, but they're adding ingredients and so hold on. And people that'll tell you that all right, so listen, we'll tell you nature's medicine. We'll say that to somebody who was against all that. They'll think we're stupid. They won't put their mind to it. I guarantee you, if you fast from all that red meat, all the sugars, because sugar causes damage to everything in the body.
Yep.
If it messes with your brain too.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to those diseases, I'm not even going to name them because I'm not trying to get us big. Because when you start saying stuff, we'll get them disease. Okay, cut out all that processed food and all that shit. I'm trying to tell you, that's the biggest scam. Is damn, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
If we closing on that 15+ minute mark, I think we may be there. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Like I said, we have the humor and we have the conscious thoughts and we mix it, and we have the personality of our own. If you click, something will stick. Like you know what I'm talking about? I promise you, bro. Damn, paying to park, paying to drive, and paying to drive not just gas, paying to cross a state line with a toll. What? Paying to live, only species on planet Earth. And it's just like, yo, this is kind of off topic, but bro, how do you think people started eating fruits? Like, because like, what do they know is poisonous or not? Like, you feel me? Like, like, how do you think? Someone said maybe they just saw like a squirrel or something eating something off a tree. It was like, oh, let me try it too, or something. Like somebody said that. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I was thinking about that. I'm like,
I be seeing stuff like that. Like,
this kind of ties into like nature medicine. So I wanted to ask that. Like,
yeah, it'd be like I seen stuff like that too. Like you could see certain animals and stuff like follow a certain path or like go a certain direction, like a bunch of them to like water or whatever. Then like, that's the water you need to drink. And the same thing with like food. They say like animals tend to stay in the area where there's food and like resources for them. So like probably stuff like that. And also too, they probably already knew, bro. It probably was already in them to know that it was food. You know what I mean? What was poisonous, what was not poisonous, you know what I mean?
And how like some fruits kind of look like or match with our body parts.
Yeah.
And how the colors of the fruit go hand in hand with something like, you know, kind of, so it's like, okay, kind of, it just adds up, you know. That's why I feel like it's all divine. So when it comes to back to the healthcare and like how I said, if you have a broken leg or a concussion, or they can do things with those, of course. But I ain't gonna lie, normal sicknesses that show us normal sicknesses like cold and fevers and shit like that, our body is showing us what we need, and it's actually protecting us. If you're getting sick, that doesn't mean you need to go into panic mode. And that goes for everything. Into panic mode, you're just gonna become more and more anxious, and more and more anxious, and more fear makes you more sick.
Yeah.
But since we don't have the biggest education on these subjects, people won't think we're valid. So do the research and do it for yourself, and I guarantee you, you'll have change. But back to the main topic, we're paying for everything. Let us know how y'all feel, man. Episode 33. Diarrhea.
I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, you know what I'm saying? Episode 33. We're gonna get better each time, you know what I'm saying? Each time we either have a guest on here or not, you know, just me and bro talking. We're gonna have a great conversation regardless. Like he always says, like, you click on here, something's gonna stick with you. You're gonna learn something new every single time, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be like that forever, either on our own channels or this. You know what I mean? Just conscious thoughts constantly thrown around back and forth at each other and talking, you know what I mean? But yeah, y'all, it's in the episode.
Life Unfiltered, talk with that. We shining out of here.
Peace.
Never made sense to me. It's like the opposite. In order to attract a woman, I always thought it was I had to have the best hair, the best this. No, I had to literally show you that I hate you or I don't like you.
I think I like this. Play back. Cute ass face, the way that you're looking, like I cannot make a mistake. But I'm trying to see how you are on the inside. One dip slip, shit. Now I'm on the inside. Baby, your beauty not normal. Beauty. I mean, it's a whole bunch of fine shit.
It's a whole bunch of fine shit.
There's something else about you.
Something about you.
We gotta be deeper than culture.
Gotta be deep in the culture.